Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be going over which deck is better. Is it going to be Lavaloon with Barbarians or Lavaloon with Mighty Miner? I'm going to give you some tips with both the decks. It's not going to be live gameplay because honestly I feel like it's more entertaining to like watch the Twitch stream gameplay and stuff, but it's more beneficial to you guys if I can like go over my replays and stuff and help you guys out. So if you do want, the more entertaining stuff, head on over to our Twitch stream. Twitch link is in the description below, as well as the TikTok. And we're going to start off with the Mighty Miner. So, of course, if you don't have the Mighty Miner, obviously Barbs are going to be the best choice. Valkyrie is really just not it, in my opinion, anymore. She's not really great. Neither is guards. Guards are just, they kind of feel... What are we doing? What are we doing here? Are we doing anything? Okay. Guards just kind of feel like they're just not good, honestly. And so Barbarians are going to be your go-to source for mid-ladder. And I just posted a mid-ladder video with the Barbs. I'll do another one with replays probably for you guys, because I know a couple of you said, oh, I don't like this type of video because it was live gameplay and you weren't giving many tips. Yeah, and I understand that too. It's kind of hard to give tips while playing live gameplay, especially on stream too, but it is what it is. We'll get the best content out for you. Alright, so let's kind of back up here. So lava into golem, just lava in the back and any golem. And here just a loon behind because there's no night witch. I put it down first, so it's, we're going to get to that tower. So here I'm thinking probably zap the bats or Mighty Miner. And here we're just going to skeleton dragons instead because the best play would not be Mighty Miner, since we need to get rid of these skeleton. For some reason, I don't know why he's running skeletons, but he is. So as you can see, that's just going to be wrapping it up. If he hadn't played a graveyard there, we would have just Mighty Minered, because Mighty Miner is probably a really good counter to Golem in most situations. And so as you can see, we did a ton of damage, which is really nice. And a big thing to be just aware of in Golem matchups is they can usually deal with your Skeleton Dragons by arrow, zap, or just fireball. So don't put yourself in a position where you don't have any elixir and the only thing you have to defend is skeleton dragons, because then you can just like kill your skeleton dragons and you're kind of stuck. So always make sure that you're not putting yourself in that situation. So as you can see there, he was pretty low on elixir, which is why I went with skeleton dragons, as well as I already had a Lavaloon push down, so I didn't need to add more to offense. And so here it's just a quick fireball. It's really just pretty much game over from here. And as you can see, Mighty Miner, he's not doing a whole lot in this matchup, but as you can see, he didn't do a whole lot, but he has the potential to do a whole lot. He's going to tear apart pretty much any big tanks. The only thing you got to be careful of is resets and stuff like that. So definitely, in my opinion, if you do have Mighty Miner, you should go for it, but Barbs are definitely better in some matchups. Let's head into the next Mighty Miner. Alright, so I'm actually going to show you two matchups here real quick with the Mighty Miner, because this one's really short. Basically, the advantage the Mighty Miner has that's like preventing me from using Barbs is that the Mighty Miner doesn't die to Fireball. The real problem with Barbarians is any deck with Fireball is just going to go down the toilet. So it's really annoying to play Barbarians and then just die to Fireball, Mighty Miner prevents that. And also the bomb is just such a nice thing to do if you can possibly get it on, a bunch of skeletons and stuff. And also things like maybe using him in a push, switching lanes. It's just, he's so good, and I would probably stick to him. But I think if you have him, you might consider switching. But anyways, as you can see, we're going to easily take out these zappies. I think he meant to play a giant skeleton, but it drop glitched. I also don't know what that clone was, but let's back it up here. Say he had put a giant skeleton in front of these zappies, preventing us from going with, or from killing the zappies. Basically, it wouldn't have mattered. I would have just Mighty Minered right now, just anyways, to deal with the giant skeleton, and it's just GG's. I mean, you could try tornadoing it, but it's not going to help you because I'm just going to back that up with the Fireball or a Mega Minion, and as you can see, it's just going to be game, set, match from here. Mighty Miner, he's going to take out that cheap, yeah, it's like a cheap elixir trade is what I'm trying to say. He's just 4 for 6 on the giant skeleton. It's going to wipe him out pretty easily. And so here we'll actually jump into another golem matchup. I don't really have great matchups to show you guys right now. It was kind of, stream was kind of filled with really bad matchups and Goblin Giant, to which we faced 4 times, and Golem. So I'd rather show you Golem matchups than Goblin Giant because the Goblin Giant's a free win. So anyways, as you can see, definitely, if you see a bomber, do not go lava. Do not go lava, because it's probably more likely than not E-Giant. So lava first play is really bad against E-Giant if you're he hasn't already put down the E-Giant yet. Anyways, as you can see, I'm kind of thinking Golem immediately because Bomber Lumberjack's only really in one deck, unless it was a mid-ladder deck. And so as you can see, just Bomber Lumberjack Golem does mean he has Arrow Zap, Mega Minion. I kind of know this deck. So basically what's going to happen is a Tombstone, and we're going to try and bait out arrows. Because if we bait out arrows, then we can use Skeleton Dragons. And they're just going to, as you can see, if he arrows the Skeleton Dragons, it's not going to kill the skeletons, and if he arrows the skeletons, you can't kill the Skeleton Dragons. So as you can see, we're just up a tower and a lot of damage, or we're kind of up like half a tower. So it's a really good situation in my humble, honest opinion. Here we just go with the Mighty Miner, because I know that he's going to have to spend more than 4 elixir to stop it. So there's a 4 elixir, but he's going to need to spend even more. So here we'll just go with the Mega Minion, wrapping up the E-Barbs. It's just flawless defense right there. But as you can see, the Mighty Miner is so dangerous that it forces your opponent to spend extra elixir, which I think makes the Mighty Miner really dangerous, because you know, with the Barbarians, he's kind of just, oh, okay, I can just slap a bomber and defend these Barbarians. But with the Mighty Miner, he had to spend a whole 10 elixir. And given that it was a counter push, it's still a -3 trade because I had to spend Mega Minion on it. But that's still just not good for business. Anyways, as you can see, we kind of try and get out E-Barbs here because I wanted to switch lanes. And then we just zap the bats. And here I don't really care if we do lose this tower. There's no defending all of it. Just the goal is to not get 3 crowned here, because we 100% took his tower. And so as you can see, we're going to go Mega Minion on the Night Witch. Takes out the Night Witch clean. Definitely playing overly defensive here. Maybe not overly defensive, but just making sure that he can't get the E-Barbs to the tower or anything just like that. And as you can see, Mighty Miner, such a good job at taking out that Golem. Also, he has the bomb for the Night Witch, so Mighty Miner is ultimately just such a good card. I recommend you probably play Mighty Miner, although there definitely are some matchups where Barbarians are better. So let's, I think we can show a matchup with the Barbarians. So I did get a matchup here that was Miner Loon. However, this is a free matchup, so I'm not going to show it. This matchup is tougher. But, I mean, honestly, I probably could have won both of these matchups with Mighty Miner. However, I think the Barbs provide a slight edge in this matchup. Why do I say that? Because they are Fireball bait, and that's probably the biggest edge that they are going to give you, is that they are Fireball bait. So what that means is that when you run the Mighty Miner, there's only 1 card in your deck that has to Fireball the Skeleton Dragons, but Barbarians, there's 2. So you can kind of take advantage of the fact that if you play Barbarians and he Fireballs them, you can use Skeleton Dragons on offense or defense or whatever, and they won't die like that. So I think that's a big part of this deck is Fireball bait. And it's definitely good against these types of decks, because as you'll see later in the game, I believe he Fireballs a Barbarians because I placed Barbarians on his Valkyrie, and that was kind of the game sealing play because he didn't have enough time to come back. And once he fireballed, I could just Skeleton Dragons on offense, and he had no real way to kill him. So as you can see, the Mighty Miner could have wrapped up that defense too, but it's kind of whatever. I don't exactly know why he didn't Tornado here. Maybe he just thought the Fireball would be a better idea to wrap that all up. But I think overall we would have got about the same amount of damage here. But I don't exactly know. I think he should have NATO'd it and would have NATO'd it. But even if he didn't, we still would have been up a pretty nice amount of damage. Um, it's so, I mean, cheap decks like this, honestly, with Barbarians, it's going to be better. If there's an opportunity for you to to try and tower trade against cheap decks like this, definitely do it. You're not going to be able to keep up with this cycle in single usually because Barbarians are very expensive. So I recommend that you try and tower trade early, unless, of course, you know you can wrap up his defense. So here we hit one of the wall breakers. Sadly, not both of them, but it is what it is, bro. Flawless defense isn't always going to help out. Or flawless defense isn't always going to happen. So as you can see, I think this is where the fireball bait comes into play. We're going to have Barbarians here because I expected him to go wall breakers. I wasn't counting his cycle. And here he fireballed them, but we can just go with the tombstone. So questionable fireball, given that now we can just kill this magic archer. And we zap it into the skeletons. Ooh, man, the skeletons. Clutch fireball coming in. That should take that tower, and now it's just playing defense for 20 seconds. It's going to be pretty easy indeed. Going with the tombstone, which actually gets rid of both of the wall breakers. A handy tip here is you can go barbs. You see what I did earlier? This is GG's, by the way. See what I did earlier here? You can do that to both Hog Riders, so if he goes Valkyrie Hog Rider or something, and Wall Breakers. The Valkyrie's going to be targeting the first Barbarian, and all the rest of the Barbarians will start attacking the Wall Breakers or the Hog. So it's definitely a good placement to use there. So anyways, you do you, I guess. There's advantages to both Barbarians and Mighty Miner, but for now I'm probably going to stick to Mighty Miner, although I will definitely alternate. Just switching around decks a little bit. So hit that like button, subscribe. Let's get to 3K subs. That would be awesome. And I hope you can benefit from this video. I'll get more better videos out there for you guys as well, mid-ladder wise and stuff. Also check out our streams. Peace.